I'll record this one because it's going to be unbelievable. It's always unbelievable. It doesn't require belief, which is amazing. That's the start. Is that the start? That's the start. That's my mad talking anyway. And there's no going back. This is it. Um, yeah, it's just unbelievable that there's a chat like this happening, really. Maybe it's the chat that we always wanted to have. Somehow it wasn't happening. Maybe it's the chat that beyond all the concepts, beyond all the words, everything that's been learned, everything that's been taken in as the real, every single word. Maybe this is the chat, and it's not. Um, what's been spoken about here evidently requires no knowledge, no backup, no support, no slides to prove it. Um, like to imagine that actually we're not talking about anything is just outrageous, because the vast majority of conversations appear to be about a thing, not everything. And yeah, it's just extraordinary in a way that somehow it's not even that it's overlooked. It's just all there is what's appearing to happen. And in what's appearing to happen in the story of life, even saying the story of life is a story. How amazing. Like saying that this is a story, or that liberation is a story, at the loss of self is a story, is a story. So whatever story is being told, and there are a gazillion stories about this, there's just so many, and you could write a story and you could tell whatever story is happening, or the story could be told about this. It doesn't make it, sometimes you can hear the word story being used and it's kind of like almost it's being dismissed as, oh, it's just a story. But it's because it's just, we are boundless stories. This is boundless storying happening. And within it, every single, it just seems like every single story about this happening comes with some sort of conviction that it is a thing that's happening. So this is the world. This is 2022. And, this is the time and space. I'm down by the sea. See. I'm down by the sea. Will you be able to see the sea? It's there in the distance. Anyway, you're just going to have to take my word for it that there's the sea and ye. And yeah, I suppose that's really, it's beyond the story of life, beyond the story, even the words, the story of life, beyond every single thing that can come out of this trapdoor. Really, what's being talked about, what the excitement or the wonder, the sharing is that really this is full to the brim with nothing being talked about. So it's totally and utterly beyond any concept. So saying then this is it, it's not a concept, this is it, it's just a sound. And all there is then is the hearing, this is it. And it's hearing that it's wondrous or it's shit, then there could be the thought of, well, I don't know it to be wondrous, but that would be just what is then. So this is nobody's what is. Nobody knows what is, and that's the kind of mystery that is somehow being explored. But it's not a knowing then that is talking about this. This is nothing to do with knowing. And yet knowing then appears, knowing appears about this, because this appears as words. But also then if it's silence, then silence is somehow objectified, that, oh, it's the silence. Well, it's exactly what is appearing to happen, what's appearing to happen. Exactly. You can't do reactions. You can't do the this is bullshit, or this is amazing, or this is wondrous, or this is just this is I've heard this before. You can't do that, but that can happen. That can be what's happening. I can't talk about this, and I'm not talking about this, but there is talking, or that's what's used to describe this. So what's this then? Talking, hearing, sounds, and beyond that, a gazillion, trillion, billion stories, and each more wondrous than the next, and yet all the while is just this soft little kind of cluelessness, this childlike sort of banging the stick on the ground just for banging the stick on the ground's sake, you know, and yeah, somehow there's talking about this. Somehow there's talking about this, and there may be questions, and there may be something to talk about. You know, the mystery. Within the mystery, anything and everything can appear to be discussed and arise, and within that, it can appear like somebody might know, and then within that, you know, when there's someone, then there is other, and that it can appear, despite all you're hearing is that there's nothing on offer here, and still all the while is there will be and maybe and can be questions or remarks, or maybe it's just anything. So just say it, just keep, just say whatever you are going to say, I suppose. And technically speaking, just click the unmute button and go for it. You're all dying to see the sea, I'd say. Anyway. Dave's just asked a question. It's often heard that everything is and isn't. What's that pointing to? I suppose it's the unrealness. You see, as words, we live in everything is real, and then it has to be black or white, and so that to say everything is and isn't is pointing to the apparent illusoriness, the uncatchableness of everything. You can't catch an attempt to kind of get this because it's already falling through your hands. You know, you can't get hold of an attempt to get hold of this. So we become lost in words as words. And even, you know, it's neither real or unreal. It's neither real and unreal, but that's as good as, you know, it's, in other words, it's this idea of not this or that. But, you know, then it can be lost in the image of, well, what does that mean? It's not, and even the word pointing does my head in, because I would have got lost in the idea of pointing, you know, pointing, everything is this. So saying this is bullshit is this, you know, it's anything and everything is this. So it's just that you're not doing this. And that's uncatchable. It's not like somebody then knows that there's no one, you know. There's just words coming out, you know. Um, yeah, it's like this is everything and nothing. That used to drive me crazy. But there isn't, there isn't, you can't bind everything into a word called everything, because all that happens is that the mind goes everything, but you can't catch the boundless, and it's like no thing or nothing. Nothing appears then to be grey and murky, or not a thing. It's just we get lost in images, and the brain goes to capture, well, what's that like? That seems to be, that's like this then. And so that's what it's perhaps pointing to, is and isn't. Dave's just asked, what is a story? It's word, and underneath the word, then you could say it's a description, and then underneath the description, you could say that it's a lot of words attempting to describe a sequence of events, attempting to describe, and so it's and each is their own story, and they have other people's stories and other people's versions of this. And so this is, in a way, what we're talking about is life without the story, but even that then makes life without a story seem like a thing. But it's the storyless life. It's the non-hooked on words. Even the idea of silence is a word appearing to describe a thing. Kind of amazing that it can't get close, but yet silence, and then all the images that the mind have is what silence is. But so silence is a story. Isn't that fucking amazing?
How about resonance? Is that a good word or bad?
Well, there's no bad or good word now. Bold, you're bold for saying resonance, Mika. That's I think resonance is something that it likes to be heard. Oh, this resonates, so maybe I'm closer then. But resonance is a good word in a way, because there is some sort of, you see, sensing, or because there's nothing in this sort of thing for the mind. Like really, there really is nothing, and yet somehow this, I don't know, resonance is as good as a word for anything about the inexplicableness of all this, the cluelessness, the kind of, even though lost as words is appearing in images, lost as images of what this is, it's still this sort of a inexplicable resonance. And all the while, this is just saying this is total, utter, divine cluelessness. And it's not divine, it's not holy, and it's not good or bad. It's just total cluelessness. This is lost in. So, but all the while, then there can be this movement, because everybody else, words appear, and they appear like it's real, and then this is said with conviction. But there's no conviction in this. There's no truth or falsity or whatever. It's resonance is a word. You could just say it's what it appears to be. It's just a word, and then all the imaginations about that word. But resonance is a good enough word for something beyond, because the thinking mind really hates this. The mind, in a way, or the person, let's just say, has to hate nothing on offer, because it's so much sweeter when you can, it's like a dog with a bone. Normally, give me something to do or something to figure out, or don't be telling me that it's already over. Don't be telling me that there's already no one and this is nothing appearing to happen. Don't give me something that I can chew on. So why then would there be any interest in then? It's interest is the wrong word. Resonance is as good as any, but it's just a word, resonance. Lovely word though. It's kind of a, yeah. That's a, oh God, that's, yeah. There you go. Resonance. It's got a hum to it. Hum. Nobody's resonance, nobody's anything. In the end, it's just what's appearing to happen. And if everything is gone, there's truly, in every exhale, just nothing happening. And even saying nothing is happening sounds like, that, but that's only when words are objectified. It's just. That's it.
Hey Frank,
Yeah.
how's it going?
Oh, sure. Look, not too bad. That's what we say here.
Okay,
It's not too bad. Thanks.
good.
It's a real Irish thing. It's not too bad. It's not too good now. Don't get me wrong either. Totally non-committal. Sorry. Yeah.
No, you're good. So you were just saying how the mind doesn't get anything, so it seems like it has to make something out of it. So it seems like there's life without a story, and that seems appealing. Like, for instance, since this meeting's been going on, I've been living in a story. Like, for instance, I was down in the laundry room, I realized my microphone was unmuted, and then now I've been thinking about, oh, like, fuck, my microphone was blocking Frank's intro, and then I was thinking about what am I going to ask? So I'm living in this story, and it seems like for certain people, the story can fall away. And so that does seem like a carrot. Like, it's impossible for me to listen to non-duality without projecting some state on you and thinking somehow that would be better, because being so lost in thought is somehow not good.
Yeah, you see, this, when you say that, it's like as if then there's an image then sought that, well, there would be no thinking then, or there would be no worrying, or there would be no shit. Did I say something there that offended somebody? Oh, fuck, they looked offended. What? Oh, my stupid big mouth. So then there's an image then that this is a state. There's no fucking state here, man. Sorry for the swear words. fucking swearing. This isn't a state. So then you see the unbelievableness of what you're describing there is that every tiny inch of what you described there is just what's appearing to happen. You can't do that. You can't do that worrying about the microphone, but that's just what's appearing to happen. You can't do that thinking there about wondering about this image that might be happening here, right? You can't do that, but that's just somehow lost in the image of that then. That what's happening there, the totally ordinary sitting on a chair, over in this sitting in the chair, it's unbelievable sitting in the chair, even if it's just, it's a description then of another way of sitting on the chair. But this is describing then, it's exactly what's happening. Nobody's doing it. So the grass is growing or appearing to grow, and this is appearing to talk, and the clouds are appearing to do what they're doing. And there's a totally, utterly, wonderfully divine cluelessness about that. And that's there. Like there's the image of lost in this wonderful state. So then that this wouldn't be full on, that this wouldn't be full on vulnerableness. It couldn't be full on vulnerableness, Frank. Don't fucking tell me it's full on vulnerableness. Don't tell me it's scared but it's just, you can't do vulnerableness. You can't do sorrow or lostness or joy or that question that was asked. It's just what's happening. And there's nobody here that knows that, It's just, we're talking about the inexplicableness of this, really. And then there's lost in the ideas that, because there's a meeting that somebody must know this, but all the while they're saying that there's nothing to be known. And it's not a thing. And it's not like, I know there's nothing to be known. We're talking about talk. And you mean to say we're talking about nothing, Frank? You can't be hosting a meeting and we're talking about nothing. Don't tell me that. There needs to be a little some carrot over there. You must be living a better life over there. Well, I mean, have the view of the sea. It's pretty good. It's pretty good, the view of the sea, to be fair. Apart from the seeing of the CCC, it's just you and me, baby. Anyway, I was just trying to rhyme there. It's just this and words appearing. That's all. So it's perfect, and perfect is the most annoying word that you could possibly use. Really sorry for that word. But you know, you can't do any tiny thing that's happening. There's just what's happening. More F words, please.
It seems like someday I could possibly understand what you're talking about when you say it's just what's when I hear apparently, I hear it's just what's appearing to happen, because it's like you say, you know, sitting on a chair there, sitting on a chair here. Well, when I check in sitting on a chair, it doesn't seem amazing to me. And it seems like it seems amazing. But I get that
it's
it
not
not
amazing.
seeming amazing.
It's just sitting on a chair then. Without this, it's just sitting on a chair. Or there's just sensations and then words used to describe this. Then it's called sitting on a chair, because we've all agreed that that's what this is then. And this is a meeting. We've all agreed that, apparently. But this is totally and utterly unknowable now. Even unknowable is unknowable. So then there's someday I'll understand this. Who will understand this now? Who will have this? So you can't have your attempt to have this. You can't get closer, or you can't get further away, amazingly. You know, you can't get further away from your attempt to get this. It's just how it is. It's not, you're not doing it. It seems like there's brakes in the steering wheel. It does seem like that. It seems like you can stop and start and move the whole ship and turn the corners and all that. That's how it seems. It's just, they don't work. And nothing works. And it's not. And it's annoying when there's the movement to understand, and all that's been said is there's nothing to understand. And I want to know that. That's annoying. That's annoying. But there's just, forget everything. All there is what's appearing to happen. Sucking on that cup of coffee there, and sounds like you could climb 1,000 mountains and you wouldn't get close to hearing. It's just hearing. It's just, you see, and then again, you see, all that sounds like, it sounds, because it sounds like it is words, and it sounds like they're being said in a certain way. So then when there's someone, then there's someone who knows. So what this is describing then is unknowability, and where not even, you know, you can't hang your hat on unknowability. Forget unknowability then. You see that, in a way, I remember seeing all these websites. You see, in a way, you know, you're looking around, and somehow they're suddenly being, just being. So suddenly there's whatever is happening, and then there's all others around who knows what this is, and mostly the stories what they give are dissatisfying, but then some offer some kind of idea of what this is, and then that's kind of gone towards, that's movement, and you know, and all the while it's still dissatisfying, it's still, you know, and then when this sort of message appears, don't know, yeah, somehow then there's you know, the word resonance was used, there's an attraction or some pull towards this, and yet what do you mean nothing? What do you mean? I want to know nothing. And that's the kind of push and pull, in a way, you know, I want to know nothing. You know, that's really the movement, isn't it? I want to know that there's no one. And then that's why it feels like banging against the wall. Perhaps, I don't know. But it can't, but it, you know, you just can't do anything about that, is the, because you're not doing it. There's just that. And there's not even just that. Oh, there is the sound of this voice blabbering on. Kelly has asked me, do you know that there's no one? I don't know that there's no one. It just seems to be words coming out. It sounds like, see, I don't know a thing. And I don't know that I don't know a thing. And on to as far as you want to go, you know. So then how on earth can you say that there's no one if you don't know that there's no one? Where's the proof? And that's the movement then. It's just, you see, it's somehow lost in the idea of lost as me, lost as the idea of there is other, and everything just comes to life as words then, and the story just seems to unfold, and in that story then there's a gazillion sorts of characters and people, and it's just, so there's imagine, not even imagine, there's nobody saying there's no one. And nobody knows that there's no one. There is no one. And no word will come close to this. This is utterly unfathomable. And nobody knows. It's just so beyond the idea of knowing then. I don't know that there's no one. There is no one. And, you know, it could be lost in the idea, well, there is, because I'm here. Well, what's the response to that is then, is just, you're not doing that. That's just what is being said. They're just words, and then there's lost in words as words being real. So I'm here and you're there, and this is a place, this is a world, and you know, in a way, really, this is so beyond, there's such a lost in the last, in a way you could say, the last game is this idea of self and no self, and lost in the pursuit. I want to know what it's like to be no self. I want to remain fully intact. And that's, you can't do that though. That's just what's happening. So how do you know there's no one? It's just a miracle that there's words like this, really, that yeah, there's no one. No one's watching. The greatest show ever. We all deserve Oscars, but nobody's watching. Nobody's watching, baby. If there was, we. Dave has asked, can't catching, elaborate. I suppose it's the idea of, trying to get this or know this or have this. You can't get close to that unfolding or appearing to happen. You can't. It's like, it's like the sand going through the glass. You can't get to that. That's just somehow happening. And you don't wake up in the morning and plot out a plan to try and get this. That's just how it is. Because really, you know, in a way, it's stay a million miles away from this, that's for sure. If you were really the boss of the universe, if you really were the king of the world, it's the last place. If you really were. So it's trying to get close to the sound, to the words, trying to get close. It's trying to get hold of the hearing of these words. You know, it's trying to hold on to what is, and that's that. Trying to hold on to what is appears as what is, but you can't do that. It's just what is.
Frank?
Yeah.
Hello, Siobhan here.
How are you getting on?
Not too bad.
How's
Don't make me lose my train of thought.
It's already gone now. I was
No,
talking about the not too bad earlier. Sorry.
I want to talk about pointlessness. The pointlessness of this. Well, it's not that I want to talk about it. I was hoping for some reassurance. I know there's no I can't get reassurance from anybody. So there's this sort of childlikeness that would have had reassurance from adults, I suppose, like an adult sort of feeling of reassurance. There's just none of that there, and it's sort of so pointless sometimes trying to look for that, or before, you might have used strategies to convince yourself that there were ways to live in the world that included attracting ease and positivity and just smoothing the road. So all of that is gone, and it's like, and so fucking hard sometimes. It's so fucking hard. So today was a horrible day. I had a horrible day at work with my boss, and all I feel is hatred and anger and impotence. Can't do anything about anything. And I have to fucking wait for this feeling to go away now. God knows how long that's going to last before I can get back into the idea that maybe there's a point. I know there's no point, but the pointlessness sometimes is fine and sometimes enjoyable. But the pointlessness when you're in the depths of I just So sorry, I didn't really want to say anything because I didn't want to bring everyone down, but it's kind of overwhelming sometimes, the fact that you feel like, oh my God, I'm so alone here, and then I'm not even here. Jesus, what is going on? Oh. I wished I hadn't had such a day, because I was looking forward to chatting and stuff like that. But anyway, that's what's happening, and yeah, that's just what's happening. Pointlessness.
Yeah, all there is what's happening.
And it could never make it better.
All there is wanting it for it to be better. Then that's how it is.
Wanting it to be better, also, yeah.
Yeah, that's how it is then. There's nothing fucking wrong with that. That's just how it is then, wanting it to be
no,
better.
no, there's nothing wrong with it, but it feels bloody awful.
Yeah. Full on.
Yeah, full on.
Full on alive. Shit. Brilliant. Shit. Ruining everybody's day here. Can you imagine?
That's what he is.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to block Siobhan now for ruining everybody's day.
Sorry.
She can do it. She can do it.
Oh.
Yeah.
And there's no sea view here either.
No, there isn't. Yeah. That's something to get annoyed about too.
Hi, Frank, it's Lindy.
Hiya.
I haven't really got a question, I was just thinking how surreal it is to be sitting here, well, apparently sitting here, listening to you communicating in this way. It doesn't seem long ago. Well, it probably wasn't that long ago that I was watching one of your videos where it appears you're in the position very much that I feel that I'm in, as in you were talking to speakers and you were just bamboozled by the whole thing. You kind of had a feeling of it, but you had a lot of frustration, and now you're a speaker, apparently.
Mm.
And, it just all feels very surreal. It's I have to say it's very encouraging, but I would imagine,
I better stop then. Yeah.
but I would imagine that's probably not necessarily a good thing, but that is just what's happening here. So
Yes, there is a bit of paradox about it because there is nothing to say.
I know.
And then, you know, even it seems like there was someone looking for this, but you're, you know, and asking questions and getting frustrated and wanting this and doing podcasts. And hopefully, you know, if I do enough podcasts, surely I'll get this. But I wasn't, it was just how it was. That was just how it unfolded. So then when there's a question being asked there, you know, in a way, there was a period of time of being lost in the idea that somebody knew this. So then maybe then there's a lost in the idea or image that, oh, well, Frank was looking and Frank has got it. And it's kind of encouraging for me because if I keep plodding away, I'll get there. And then what this is saying then is that there's just what's appearing to happen. And in that, anything and everything can appear, including whatever was being described there, and whatever maybe frustration or surrealness, or but then this is utterly wonderfully real and surreal and whatever you want to describe. Then this is just, there's just what is. And yeah, there is that paradox of talking, or you know, this idea of appearing to then organize a meeting cause, okay, you know, there's something I have to share or say. And it gives the impression, but then it's totally free and it's totally clear as well what's coming out of this trapdoor, that there's nothing on offer, you know. And in a way, that's kind of amazing, and it's totally rubbish. Like, it's totally rubbish. This is totally rubbish. Like what I'm saying here, it's total just rah rah sounds, and all there is the hearing of the sounds. That's all there is. So nothing's been said. Like, ooh. You must stop now. You must be saying there's something. You must be saying something. And so, you know, in a way, the freedom is really then just gathering and whatever, talking, and because there are 99.9999 are some sort of prescriptive idea, you know, and kind of amazing then that, you know, really nothing is on offer. Frustrating too, though, or whatever, amazing, frustrating, or annoying, or, you know, please solve this for me, or please make it better, and which are can just about make the dinner. Just about. If it was a thing that it could be found, then I could share it then. If there was something to find or a way to make it better, then there would be something here that could make life better, because then there'd have to be a knowing of how to make life better. But I suppose this is about just see, it's already there and seen, but it's very hard to describe that because it's so totally overlaid with all the concepts and lost in images of what it would be like then, and all the buts that are unfolding. But you know, you got it there and all that, and that's I got absolutely nothing, and nothing isn't a thing to get. I got the sound of this voice somehow saying crap. That's that's all that is. And I'm not saying anything. Then frustration appears, and that's how it is. Then that's can't do frustration, but frustration can happen.
Okay, Frank.
Hi.
Hi, it's Laura.
Hi, Laura.
Is it even arguable that something like over there for the Frank, something has, let's say, fallen away that makes life apparently easier?
Great, I'm late.
Yeah, you missed the best part, Tanya. I think that's you. That makes life easier.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
because suddenly Frank is not seeking anymore, apparently, but is describing, or through his mouth, words like already the question is asked, already there's only what's already is happening. Like this, the apparent something has changed for like over there. Is that arguable?
Well, there might be the movement then to want that to be the case. To, you know, also not to be lost in the image then of, you know, well, he wasn't talking and then he is now talking. And what this is describing then is just talking. So
Yeah.
that's what's being said. And, you know, so there's a kind of a wanting to hear, maybe I could be wrong, but there's a wanting to hear that maybe life is suddenly better for Frank. Well, so maybe, but sure, look, I don't know how to do anything, you know, so total pissed offness could happen. Total frustration, total going down into the sea there like a mouse, terrified. And then 30 seconds in and I'm out, and, you know, and then that's gone. And then there's talking here, and that's just, you know, full on. So it's just anything and everything can happen. And really that it was overlaid maybe with the lost in the images of what this could be, that somebody over there definitely has something. And so then there's lost in the image that Frank there was a Frank and he's fallen away. So there was no Frank. There was nobody doing the podcasts. There's nobody asking that question there. And all the while there's, Anna, come on, life must be easier. Must be, give me something. But sure, you know, then there would be a knowing of life. I'd have something, and then, you know, I'd have a better life then. There's just what's happening. And all of that, I don't know, you know, it's impossible to say. There's just how things are. You know what I'm saying? It's just, there's just what is. And isn't it?
I hear what you say.
Yeah.
And immediately there is something happening inside me. I don't care. I don't speak non-duality language anymore.
Good, yeah,
I just
yeah,
say
good, yeah.
I knew. So there's something happening here in me which immediately wants to fight what you say. It's like, it's not about the wording. It's about like, oh, come on. It's like, it's a bit like wanting to challenge that, but it's like a more an energetical thing happening somehow. Like, yeah, I cannot describe it.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
it is. I know what it is. It wants to. You want to reject this. There has to be something to get.
maybe.
We can't be talking about just what is. You can't be talking about nothing. We can't. There's
Yeah.
no way. There's no way you'd come in here and organize a meeting and to talk about nothing. And there's no way Frank Mackay would, to be honest with you. But somehow, and somehow in the same way you could say that there's no way really anyone would be interested in this, and yet, you know, everybody in a way, why on earth would Laura be interested in this? It's just somehow how it is. And really it's, you know what I'm saying? There you go, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We were talking last night in the cafe, the Free Flow Cafe forum, and some of us were talking about the fact that speakers often sound, oh my goodness, I've forgotten the word. Speakers often sound certain, or don't sound like they've got doubts. Oh, so they present the information in such a way that sounds, well, you know, this is it. This is it. You know. So it was interesting because we were just talking about that last night, and Andreas Muller was, you know, there, and I sort of put it to him, but he was like, no, there's no doubts. And then I was kind of thinking, well, you know, if everything, nothing is everything, doubt is a part of everything. There must be like a little frisson of doubt that flits through a mind or a brain or a, you know, thing, and then flits back out again and doesn't settle. But to say that there's no doubt just means, how can that be when it's not, when there's everything going on?
Yeah, anything and everything is possible. And then it's doubt, happening, you know. But it's so, then it would be just, it's just
Or
that
not
then.
doubt.
Yeah, it's just that then. It's just the kind of seeing through of doubt and certainty. It's just certainty and conviction is just totally nothing. It's so
Yeah.
tight and held. And then doubt is riddled with another, you know, idea. They're just ideas. But I mean, who would stop the doubt?
Yeah,
Or who would
like,
push away the doubt? But it is beyond, you know, say this is totally unbelievable, but then that would be just what is then, wouldn't it? You know, there's just what is, so you don't need to believe it. Then there could be loads of doubts. Well, maybe this isn't what is. Maybe there is something happening, or maybe there isn't something happening. And every word, any word isn't even, you know, but conviction is can come. I think it's so beyond the idea of conviction, certainty, or doubt that, you know, it's really just nothing to do with anything like that. It is as the sounds of these words being heard, not what is being said.
Exactly. So you get caught up in the meaning of words, don't you?
Lost in the images of what they are.
And you fall down into
so I
the
don't
rabbit
feel
hole.
like that. I don't feel like that the way he's describing that this is wondrous. But that's just how it is. Then you can't do that. That's just the unfolding. And what we're talking about is this miraculous, unfathomable. And you must know then it's miraculous and unfathomable, but it's not miraculous or unfathomable. Call it crap then. Call it rubbish. But then it's just this, and it's
rubbish.
just sound.
Just rubbish.
It's just rah 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 rah.
It's just a mystery.
It's totally,
That's
and
it.
it's a mystery that even mystery doesn't touch.
Yeah, mystery doesn't
even catch it. Not one word holds it. Yeah. And yet it appears as no one can explain it. It appears as the sound of whatever is as everything. And that's the not catching, can't hold it for a second. And even the attempt to, and maybe that is the person, you could say this idea of trying to freeze and hold. That's just an idea though, but you know, freeze this rigid movement to hold on to what is, hold on to pleasure, push away pain, and keep everything, keep it all for me. And that's just how it is then, but that's not a problem.
No.
Problems, but there may be fucking torture and horror, and that's how it is then. You know, it's not any one thing, and it's not an image. There's no images, you know, and yet there's fixation and lost in images is how it is then, of how it should be. Sure, it must be perfect over there, you know, and then it's lost in this non-dual speak. There's no non-duality. There's no liberation. There's no anything.
Oh, you know,
Nothing.
I was actually also what came to mind was speakers, you know, that's you know speak at say 7 o'clock on a Friday or whatever it is, and I can't ever know what state of mind I'm going to be in, what mood is going to be there, what's happening. You know what I mean? So I was sort of like saying, wow, these guys can generally rock up and look like they're in a pretty good frame of mind every single time,
Mhm.
or are
And
very
that's
good
definitely an image
hiding,
then, and there's an image then
hiding.
appearing of what how
Yeah,
it is then. You see,
no, I know.
it is deeply impersonal, but it's also everything. It's,
Yeah,
total frustration. But where do you begin and end with the stories then? You know what I mean? Do you know? It's just
yeah,
stories after stories then, and getting lost in the rabbit hole of
yeah.
stories.
No,
And
I
sure,
know.
we've all a gazillion of them.
Yeah, no,
And
I
this is
know.
the kind of, it is kind of, but it's not even kind of pointless. It's totally pointless. And yet
Yeah,
somehow it's just the freedom is just, freedom.
freedoming.
Yeah. Mika just asked me, did 5-MeO help? Nothing helps, Mika. Yeah, nothing helps. Yeah, sorry about the time zone there. I see there's a couple of messages about it. That's your best just to Google Dublin time zone if I put out a meeting thing. Because it yeah, you just Google it before and then you know. You missed all the brilliant parts.
Thank God for the replay.
So you could say that this has absolutely nothing to do with what I think, to do with me in general. Any way that I think, listening to non-duality, not listening to non-duality, anything that I'm trying to understand, not trying to understand, blah, 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 anything has nothing to do with it.
Yeah, there isn't a you though. That's the little niggle. You're not doing that with your the talking there and the attending. This isn't a meeting about anything. It's not a meeting. It's not anything. You're not interested in non-duality, but interest in non-duality can appear to be how it is. And then this says then there is no non-duality. It's fucking awful, isn't it?
In the sense of, I think a little bit earlier you said something about it already being known in a way. It's like in your second podcast with Richard, I remember you were still trying to get this, and you said you can think about all these different things, but every time that you hear somebody say there's no one, it just kind of shocked you, or like you didn't have anything to say about it. And then I was thinking that in contrast with a lot of your meetings, that's one thing that you come back to saying. And of course, I'm trying to make something special about it, but would you say that like it's already known in a certain way?
It's already known in the sense even that when the words "there's already no one" is heard, it's just there's no solidity to any sentence. There's no conviction, but there's something striking for that which it believes that they're going along. I mean, it is a striking sentence. Yeah, there is no one. Yeah. As sentences go, that probably is the beginning and end of it, you know. And all there is, you know, it could potentially be the most you know, it's just one of those sentences. It's amazing, but it's just a sentence. It's just a sound, you know. It's just words, you know. Then the idea that there might be someone and there is no one, and knowing this and trying to get your head around that, then all that can unfold. What do you mean there's no one? That's definitely what are you talking about there? Or that's bullshit, or totally dismissed or laughed about or whatever. But you see, it's the beginning and end, because then who would have a better life, and who would get peace, and who would find if already there's no one? And there's nothing you can do with the sentence. There's just, you know, yeah. It's a great sentence. It's just a sentence, but it's a great sentence. And it's amazing. It appears. It doesn't mean anything, or it doesn't matter, but it's not a knowing that there's no one, you know. It's not like, oh, right, you know, I didn't put out the bins. There's no one. Is that okay? There's no escape. There's no escape, and you can't escape your own attempt to escape either. There's just what is. I don't know that there's just what is, but appearing to, or saying there's just what is what is.
Hi, Frank.
Oh, yeah.
Can you say something about pain in the body?
Physical pain, just is emotional pain. It's just yeah, what it appears to be. It's exactly what it appears to be, and then there's could be a story about that pain, and the story doesn't make it any less or whatever. But that's what I've got to say about that, probably.
And there is nobody.
Say that again.
And there is nobody.
There is nobody. Nobody. There's nobody. Yeah. There's nothing. And yet, look, the sound of saying there's nothing. It is totally empty and full to the brim with the words, this is totally empty. So full on pain, full on whatever is, the entire universe as pain. There's a little bit of pain or a big bit of pain. There's no kind of antidote for being alive. There's no escaping pain. There's no escaping joy. There's no escaping anything. And yet the attempt to want to get out of this is how it is then, or wanting there to be no pain or whatever. No explanation for this makes it anyway less this. And you know, yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
As long as there's this feeling of like being separate or having lack, it seems like every second I feel like freedom is possible. And of course, that's always has to be an idea in the future, but it seems like it's like this can't be it, but it feels like there has to be freedom. There has to be. Is that just a delusion?
No, I think it's just lost in the image of what freedom is then. So freedom is a thing that I can have and it'll look like, well, not quite sure, but it's bound to look like peace. It must be peaceful. And, you know, when the strawberries, like the strawberries will be sweeter. And it's kind of lost in images of this, of freedom. So there isn't freedom. Or all there is freedom. There isn't love, you know, and all there is love. Or there isn't anything. There's just carrot cake. You know, there isn't anything. So, but it's just lost in images of what it could be, and then that's held then as something, even if, you know, even if somehow. Then it could be bound by a thing called freedom, and it would be constrained by an idea of the mind, and finally then I would arrive. But the wonderful and horrible thing is you can't do anything about that feeling that's appearing to happen. You're not doing it. It's just how it is, and then a description about that appearing, you know. So you can't get any closer to all that you've described there, because you're not doing that, and also you won't get any closer to whatever reaction appears to happen. Then you'll never catch this, hold on to it, you'll never find it, but it's not lost. It's just, you know, however it is. So it's freedom then to be however it is, which includes shit, sorry about that now, includes putting out the bins and the crap and the discomfort and the frustration. But it's nobody's seeking. It's just lost in the idea of seeking, then of the image of better, because somehow, you know, reading on the websites or some sort of whatever, that hearing that there is no self must be good for me to know that, then, you know, must be good. But full on life, full on edgy life, discomfort, whatever is frustration, anxiety, you know, you can't do anxiety, and you can't do the wishing for anxiety not to be there either. That's just how it is. You can't do pain in the body, and pain in the body is there. You can't do anything about the push and pull with pain in the body of not wanting that to be there, and yet there being pain. You can't do that about anything. You can't do anything about anything, because you're not. And all that, even forget all that, it's just this inexplicable this. It's not my inexplicable this or yours, it's just inexplicable this.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Frank, it's Laura again.
Hi, Laura again.
I don't even know if or what I'm looking for. When you were just describing the possible movement of, oh, looking for something better and then hearing that. So I don't even know if I'm really like I really don't know what's going on,
Yeah.
to be honest.
No clue. No clue.
No clue at all.
No clue. I've no clue. No clue what this is. No fucking clue.
Like as soon as if I try to describe it, it's like already not really true. It's like already wrong somehow, like that. It's like, yeah, whatever. I don't even know if I'm here to describe or if this describing is happening. And like really, it's like I question myself right now, I feel. Yeah.
There's just that then. It's just that. You can't do that, like you can't. But the wonderful thing is you can't get close to that attempt to describe this.
Yeah. And something, and like that is like something is like, yes, something is saying yes, yeah.
And you never catch it.
That's a good description. Yeah.
You never catch it. You never catch it, like you never hold on to it. How can you? It's not an it. It's seeking. It's describing. It's whatever is. It's not anyone's.
It's like, even I don't know if it's even perceiving or perception. Like perception might be arising, but it's like not even real perception. It's like, yeah, amazing.
Yeah, it's not. It's just everything. It's just
Yeah.
whatever then is appearing to be described is this as that. Like that's, it's not this or that. It's everything, and it's a kind of a wordless, sort of a wordless, but appearing as wordless. You know.
I
Appearing
don't
as
understand what you're saying.
well, appearing. So forget wordless. Appearing as whatever is being described and whatever is looked for. Everything. So you can't get close to that, like there.
I just could hear. I could see this face, and there were sounds coming out and words, but it was just like I just could not understand. It's like, huh? Like, yeah, amazing. Thanks. I will now.
There is already no one. Already. Bye-bye. Thanks a mil to you all. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Frank.
See you.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye,
you.
thanks, Frank.
Bye.
Lots of
Thank
love.
you.
Have a nice evening, John.
Thank you, Frank.
Have a lovely evening or morning or
You
whatever.
too, everybody. Bye-bye.
See you later.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.